Honorable Osoro, you have been nodding head, certainly not in agreement to what Kosing has said. But I mean, talk to me about this. This is now Obasanjo and the facilitation done, confirmed by the opposition and the president who met in Mombasa on Friday last week. Talk to me about Honorable Osoro and all of you honorable members of the bicameral parliament. Why we need a third party to mediate issues that the Kenyan political class can resolve? Or is it because of a capacity that probably might be lacking from Kenya's political elite? Is it because we can't resolve our issues amicably? Is it because there is lack of respect on both ends of the political divide? Why certainly do we need someone to convene meeting between the president and the head of state who know each other very well?
I noticed that that question has come from you to different political quarters over the past few days, because it's really something that we also need to ask ourselves. But even before we get to that, I have noticed that Honorable Kosing, and specifically actually Honorable Kosing, he's hell-bent on demonizing His Excellency the Deputy President and making him look like a devil or something, or a person that is hell-bent in making sure that the country is divided. That is not the truth. And I think it's very important for me first to clarify that, even as I go to the other issue that you just raised. We all live in this country, and this is not very new. A few years ago, you'll notice that there are people who raised the issue with the then Deputy President, now President, William Ruto. And they used to say, you know, Uhuru Kenyatta is good. The only person who is a bad person is a Deputy President. What does that show you? That in the presidency level, or at that level of the presidency, there will always be a person, and this is very normal. Even as the president work so hard to unify the country, which is very important, you should also have people who will run the political scene. And I think what the Deputy President is doing is also running the political part, because he's also the Deputy Party Leader of UDA. And many things that the Deputy President says are not very new. It's only that nobody has confidence to say them in public. And I like him for who he is, because he actually says things as they are. Because these things have been happening all through, from the Kibaki times to all through. I mean, they've been happening. That you win. In fact, even the opposition side, you'll notice that Right Honorable Raila Odinga goes to the Luo Nation and tells them, you know, these people are bad people, they've not placed us in government. Or I mean, really, that in itself is division. And on the other hand, the Deputy President, in defense of government, says, why do you even call us bad people? When we know very well you didn't vote for us, but we've been able to include so and so and so in government. So ideally, we shouldn't look like the Deputy President is really against the unity of this country. The Deputy President is focused in unifying this country. What he's only saying is this, and it's very factual. Why spend a lot of billions of money, in elections? Spend a lot of money, budget for it, it's a democracy, and then after we win, we again sit down to discuss who won and how we won. Then these men should actually be sitting under a tree and discuss, and that is what Gulliver said, that you just should then sit down somewhere in some cage and decide who becomes president. Because after elections, you should let the winner drive his course. Then if he loses, I mean, if he messes midway, you have an opportunity after 5 years. So ideally, that should be clear. But on the issue that you say that we have structures, it is because of the mistrust that we have amongst ourselves.
The political class?
Yes.
Okay.
And we don't really, with tremendous respect to Obasanjo, these issues also happen in their country. So it's not really something, it's not a preserve of this country. It happens even in mature democracies, that people have a lot of mistrusts, and it's a political thing, and I've never understood why, because at times people do not mean what they say in the political space. I remember Right Honorable former Prime Minister Raila Odinga say that he'll accept the outcome of the elections. But did he accept? He didn't. I mean, really, it's funny. I remember him again the other day, he say the cost of living issue is not only in Kenya, that in defense of Uhuru Kenyatta. Okay. Why are people making political statements, want to take advantage of the cost of living issue? It's not just in Kenya's space and such. But again, immediately after William Ruto took over, he again changed tune and said, these people have refused to lower the cost of living. So it is because of this mistrust.
Mistrust that also has, with the government of the day having its fair share of the problem. Mistrust.
No.
For example, on the cost of living, why didn't explain to me why the Kenya Kwanza, then campaigning for the August elections, denied the impact of the Russia-Ukraine war on economies across the world, including in Kenya. And then after the elections, you said, certainly, yes, there were problems between Russia.
No. We denied, of course. That is true.
So there's a problem with Kenya's political establishment.
No. But you see, even then, we agreed that there are issues with the cost of living. Even then. Of course, we denied the fact about the Eritrea, where the whatever war that is that affected the cost of living. But however, we've also come up with mitigation measures. We are not giving such as an excuse. What we are doing, we've come up with mitigation measures to lower the cost of living. Last week, you saw us distributing fertilizer at 2,500 shillings. Down from 7,500 shillings. I mean, really, we're already mitigating that.
The point is, Honorable Osoro, the pronouncements that you, political class, do make. And earlier on, you said that the president and the deputy president occupy the office of the presidency, but it's the deputy president who does the politics. So in your view, where's the line between doing the politics and talking about inclusivity as a member of that office, which is a symbol of national unity? You see,
we don't stop being politicians after we, get elevated to office. But because the president is the vision bearer, like he carries the entire plan, and the higher responsibility lies on him. If things go low, if they fail, then we'll blame him. Because that is him. This is his legacy. And he really must be focused on that.
No, however, it's the government.
But yes, that is the government.
The president is...
However, we also must run politics. We must have people who tell the opposition, hey, this is not the way. Because you can't expect the president to keep on responding to Right Honorable Raila Odinga quite often over every statement that he makes.
But the point
that is where we have to...
But the point is the tone, Honorable Osoro, as we move forward. And allow me to read you this. 13th September 2022, I, Rigathi Gachagua, do swear, let's go into the deep of the paragraph, when so required, faithfully, truly give my counsel and advice to the President of the Republic of Kenya that I will do justice to all Kenyans without fear, favor, affection, or ill will, and that I will not directly or indirectly reveal such matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties and committed to my secrecy. In the case of an oath, so help me God. This is the solemn affirmation by Rigathi Gachagua, yet he describes Kenya as a company. What's your take?
No. The description of Kenya as a company is figurative in nature. It is not, it's not a company like you put it. It is, we use a lot of, statements to make the common mwananchi understand how we run and do things. When he says that this is a company, for example, and with shareholders, he's simply speaking out the loud secret. I mean, it is an open secret that you all know. We all live in this country.
Is Kenya a company? As a lawyer, a member of the LSK, is Kenya a company?
No. It is not a company, but using a figurative statement does not really mean that if you say, when you use a simile to describe something, doesn't really mean that you've lost the whole thing. Kenya is not a company.
Paraphrase for me what Rigathi Gachagua meant then.
Rigathi Gachagua means this way, that even as we operate and do government structures, you understand? Like in creation of government and then in division of, in terms of distribution of resources and everything. Okay. You must have leaders who are pushing for government agenda in your areas. So if you do not have a person, like now, what happens is the case that happens in the company structure. There are shareholders that meet once every year, and each shareholder puts in a vote on whatever they want within the company structure. Now, you have leaders here who are in the opposition. They don't look at anything positive. Last week, for example, I pushed for my people to get fertilizer in my area. If an opposition leader does not see positivity out of that from my area, then he's not part of that company shareholding because he doesn't want to be involved in that company. Like, it is simply a description and it's a
the shareholders of Kenya are the Kenyan people as far as